Hey everyone, it's me, Matt. Welcome back to my channel. I hope you've all had another wonderful week, and I hope you're ready to garden with me today because in today's video, we're going to be adding some really unique flowering plants to one of my front flower bed areas. So let's get into it. Really quick, before we jump into today's project, I wanted to give a quick update on my seasonal flower bed area. I'm so impressed with how much my dark blue and light blue scaevola fanflower plants have filled in. They're still not quite touching, but they've definitely put on some size, and I'm really enjoying them in this space. And then I've also been really impressed with the white gaura. They've also gotten a lot bigger, maybe even doubled in size. They don't have a ton of blooms on them at the moment because we had a ton of rain yesterday, and I've noticed that heavy rains will knock all the flower blooms off, but they're always quick to push new blooms in the days following the rainstorms. Overall, I'm really thrilled with these plants. They've all grown so much, and I haven't had any pest or disease pressure with them. I've been proactively applying bug and slug killer granules in this bed, and that's definitely helped. These plants have been an amazing addition to my summer garden, and they've performed really well in Florida's heat and humidity. And the cool thing about these plants is both varieties do really well in hot, dry climates too, so they're definitely a great option for all of you in less humid areas. All right, so moving over to our work area for today, this empty space around my purple butterfly bush is where I recently removed some dead black-eyed Susan flowers a few weeks back. Unfortunately, the plants got infested with scale and I caught it too late, and my drift of black-eyed Susans died. And if you watched the video where I cleaned up this bed, you might remember that I did try to salvage one of them. I transplanted it toward the back of the flower bed, but you can see that one didn't make it either. We ended up having some really hot days immediately following me transplanting it, and I think the transplanting along with the heat was too much for the plant. I probably should have checked the 10-day forecast before moving it. So I'll say I learned my lesson with this one. But with that said, the plant was in pretty rough shape to begin with, so I wasn't too attached to it. So it's not the end of the world that it didn't make it. So as far as prepping this bed for new plants, I've sprayed the existing mulch a few times over the last few weeks with some insecticidal super soap to do my best to kill any of the scale that might be living in the mulch. This is an organic product that kills a variety of garden pests. In the past, I've also used Fertilum Triple Action Plus for this type of pest control, but I ran out of it and I couldn't find a replacement bottle, so I thought I'd give this stuff a try. I haven't seen any scale on any of the surrounding plants, so I think it's working as expected, but it's definitely something that I'll need to continue to monitor in this area of my garden. Also, I did want to acknowledge my purple butterfly bush. It's rebounding from some fungal pressure. I've been really good about proactively spraying it weekly with fungicide, but I missed a week or two and the plant definitely suffered. These plants don't do well in a lot of humidity. They've got a dense growth habit and can easily get fungal issues without enough airflow. I knew that when I bought it, which was why I was spraying it weekly, but like I said, I missed a week or two and quickly learned how fast fungal issues can take over. Luckily, I was able to correct the problem. You can see all the new growth, and it even started blooming again. So now that we've gone over the planting area, let me show you the unique plants I picked out for this space. So these are the plants I picked out for the flower bed. Two of the varieties are definitely very unique, at least in my opinion, and then the third variety is more common. So looking at my first of two unique plant varieties, this plant is called blue porterweed. It's a Florida native that flowers year-round, and it's loaded with nectar, attracting bees, butterflies, and even hummingbirds. Actually, check out this big bumblebee feeding on the flowers at the garden center. It was absolutely loving the flower blooms. The blue porterweed is a really easy care plant. It's pest and deer resistant, as well as heat and drought tolerant. It performs best in full sun to part shade areas. It can grow 2 to 3 feet tall and wide, and it's hardy in USDA zones 9 through 11. The second unique plant variety I picked up for today's project are called golden shrimp plants. Right away, you'll notice their vibrant yellow and white blooms that attract all the pollinators. These plants like full sun, but they definitely appreciate some afternoon shade. They bloom spring through fall. They'll grow 2 to 3 feet tall and 1 to 3 feet wide. They're hardy in USDA zones 9 through 11, but they're considered a deciduous perennial, so they'll lose all their leaves in the cooler winter months if temperatures dip below 50 degrees. But with that said, they can be grown as annuals or even houseplants in lower zones. And then looking at the last plant variety, these plants aren't necessarily unique like the other two, but they're just as beautiful. These plants are called lantanas, and I love their creamy whitish yellow color. I used these same plants a few weeks back at my friend's house when I redid her porch containers, and I knew I wanted to add some to my garden. These plants need at least 6 hours of sun per day. They'll grow 16 to 24 inches tall and 12 to 18 inches wide. The pollinators love them, and they'll bloom almost year-round in warmer climates. They're hardy in USDA zones 8 through 11, but they can definitely be grown as annuals in lower zones. Overall, I'm really excited to get all these flowers added into my front garden, so let's get everything all planted in. So we're all done. Everything's all planted and watered in. I'm really happy with how this garden bed came together. The blue porterweed and golden shrimp plants really stand out. I think they complement my purple butterfly bush really well. I think the same can be said for the lantana plants too. As these lantanas grow in, they're really going to mound up alongside the butterfly bush. And then taking a step back, you'll notice I've still got some areas on either side of this new planting area that I can fill in with more plants. I think I'm going to wait until later this fall and plant some supertunias to fill these gaps. I think supertunias will look really great on either side of these plants. I'm open to color suggestions, so let me know what colors you think I should put in these spaces. So again, I'm really happy with how today's project turned out. I think these plants all look amazing. I did want to add that this flower bed is hooked up to my drip irrigation system, so these plants are all set from a watering standpoint. And then you saw me add some slow release fertilizer as I was planting them in, so these plants should be well fed for the next several weeks. So that's going to do it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you learned something new along the way. Remember to hit those like and subscribe buttons so you can hang out with me in future videos. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one.